Located in the Bronx section of New York City, Yankee Stadium opened in 1923, the year that the Yankees won the first of their 26 championships. Since then, this park has become synonymous with winning and was nicknamed the House That Ruth Built, honoring the legendary Yankees outfielder Babe Ruth. The stadium went under some major renovations in 1976, but managed to keep its classic appeal. The mystique and aura about Yankee Stadium has grown over the last few years during the most recent Yankee dynasty run. The most distinguishing feature is the Monument Park area beyond the left center field fence and past the bullpens. The beautiful arrangement honors the greatest players and executives in Yankee history. There are 20 plaques on the wall and a sign with the 14 numbers the Yankees have retired. They surround 5 marble monuments that honor the most important people in Yankee history. Before the renovations in '76, the monuments were in the field of play. This park has historically favored left-handed batters and pitchers. The short porch in right field has been a target for left-handed sluggers throughout Yankee history, from Ruth and Garrick to Jackson and Mattingly to the current stars like Giambi and Bernie Williams. At 399 feet, the left center field power alley at Yankee Stadium is the deepest alley in baseball. It has been coined Death Valley, since fly balls just seem to die in the spacious gap and allows pitchers to work right-handed batters on the inside part of the plate. Yankee Stadium has hosted a record 35 World Series, 3 All-Star games, and has had many historical moments. The Major League single-season home run record was established twice at this park, the first time by Babe Ruth in 1927. Lou Gehrig gave his famous retirement speech on this very field on July 4th, 1939. In Game 6 of the 1977 World Series, Reggie Jackson belted 3 home runs to lead the Yankees to a series victory. Preliminary plans for a new ballpark for the Yankees have been discussed, but put on hold temporarily. The 2001 Major League Baseball season opener between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Texas Rangers took place in this park. This park is fairly old and has a beautiful tropical setting as a backdrop, but hitters have a definite advantage at this park with the cozy dimensions and the fast artificial turf. The winds are unpredictable and can heavily influence a game at any point. Reminiscent of Wrigley Field, when the wind is blowing in, it's hard for fly balls to get any lift. When the breeze is blowing out, the home runs fly. It is a small bandbox of a stadium, measuring 313 feet down the right field line, 315 in left field. Both power alleys are less than 340 feet away from home, meaning that casual fly balls could leave the yard. The turf will help the line drive hitters, but the extremely small power alleys will reduce the number of doubles and triples hit during a game. Because the winds often blow out to right field, left-handed batters should have a bit of an advantage here, albeit slight. More than any stadium on the mainland, pitchers must keep the ball down here. The Montreal Expos will be playing 22 home games in this park during the 2003 season.
Billed as the eighth wonder of the world by the Astros' original owner, the Astrodome was the first ballpark to have a roof over the playing field and the first to use an artificial surface. The dome also had cushioned seats, futuristic skyboxes, and a state-of-the-art scoreboard that ran cartoons, messages, and the famous animated home run sequences. When its doors opened in 1965, the Astrodome changed the way the game of baseball was played. Many new stadiums built after the Astrodome installed turf fields, which were much easier to maintain than grass. Pitching dominated the game during the time the dome was built, and speed became a valuable asset against good pitching on turf fields. The look of the Astrodome changed a bit after a $60 million expansion project in 1989. In 1993, the manually operated out-of-town scoreboards were installed into the outfield wall. With its ample dimensions, the Astrodome certainly gave pitchers an advantage. Even though the turf fields tend to raise the averages, that advantage was negated by poor visibility and the smooth infield surface, which led to more strikeouts and fewer errors. Like any turf field, the ball can shoot through the gaps, resulting in more extra base hits. Pitchers enjoyed the spacious outfield that kept many mistakes in the park and allowed them to be more aggressive than normal. The Astrodome hosted 2 All-Star games and was the site of Nolan Ryan's record-breaking 5th no-hitter. In 1974, Mike Schmidt hit a ball off a speaker 117 feet above and 329 feet away from home plate, which would have been a 500-foot-plus homer, but that ended up as a single as the ball dropped into center field. The New York Mets claimed that the groundskeepers were roof-keeping by manipulating the air conditioning system so that the air currents actually favored the Astros. The Astros played their last game here in October of 1999, but the Astrodome still stands and nowadays is used for other events. The Baker Bowl was first opened in 1887, but the Philadelphia Phillies didn't start playing here until 1904. The park was first called the Huntington Street Baseball Grounds. It was also referred to as National League Park and Philadelphia Park. The park's most common name, the Baker Bowl, was to honor Phillies owner William F. Baker. The park was nicknamed the Hump because it was built on an elevated piece of land that had a railroad tunnel underneath the outfield. This stadium was also called Bandbox, a term that has become synonymous in baseball circles with small, hitter-friendly ballparks. This stadium held a mere 20,000 people, which is very small by today's standards. Colorful liquor ads on the outfield walls were covered up with blank boards during the Prohibition era. The clubhouse is located in center field and makes up part of the center field wall. In 1929, Rogers Hornsby hit a home run that went through the clubhouse door. This park is a true hitter's park. Lefties especially should be able to smack the ball off the right center field fence, which is only 300 feet from home plate. The right field foul line is only 281 feet, but the fence there is 60 feet high. The Baker Bowl hosted its only World Series in 1915. During that series, extra seats were added in front of the fence in center field, which led directly to the Phillies losing the series' final game. Though the last game was played at the Baker Bowl in June of 1938, it wasn't demolished until 1950. Crossley Field was the home of the Cincinnati Reds from 1912 to 1970. This park was originally known as Redland Field, but was renamed before the start of the 1934 season to honor Reds owner Powell Crossley. Though the stadium seated about 30,000 spectators, The largest crowd to see a Major League game here, 36,691 in 1947. Crossley Field, like many parks from that era, was forced to have irregular dimensions because of its location and surroundings. The left center field power alley was actually deeper than dead center field. The right center field power alley was only 14 feet deeper than the right field foul pole, giving left-handed power hitters a slight advantage. Rather than a dirt warning track, there's a steep incline that warns outfielders of the approaching fences. Both home and visitor clubhouses were located behind the left field stands. This park has hosted 4 World Series and 2 All-Star games, including the 1919 World Series, infamous for the Black Sox scandal. The first Major League night game was played in this stadium on May 24, 1935, an event that changed baseball forever. On June 24, 1970, the last Major League game was played at Crossley Field, and the park was demolished in 1972. Forbes Field was the home of the Pirates from 1909 to 1970. The field was named for General John Forbes, a British general in the French and Indian War, who captured Fort Duquesne and renamed it Fort Pitt. This field is the epitome of the classic ballpark. The old light towers, the brick walls with strands of ivy, and the chicken wire fences give this park a completely unique look. The field has very deep and irregular dimensions like many of the other ballparks built during the dead ball era. The most unique thing about this park isn't necessarily the dimensions, but the little oddities about the walls that can affect a game. This park has a completely unique feel: brick walls with strands of ivy, the old light towers, the chicken wire fences, and a notoriously hard infield surface. The bottoms of the light tower cages in left center, center, and right center are in play, as are the bottom of the center field flagpole and the batting cage just left of center. The clock on top of the left field scoreboard is a home run if hit. Forbes Field was the first stadium in the majors to place crash pads on the concrete walls. With the right field pole only 300 feet away, lefty sluggers have a nice target, even though they'll have to clear the 28-foot wire fence to get it out of the park. Right-handed batters will have a tough time battling the deep left field gaps. This park has hosted 4 World Series and 2 All-Star games. The last triple header was played here on October 2, 1920. No major leaguer ever threw a no-hitter in this park's 61 years of existence. The Pirates played their last game here in June of 1970, and the stadium was demolished in 1971. Located in the Harlem section of New York City, the Polo Grounds opened its gates for baseball in 1911. Many fans know the Giants played at the Polo Grounds, but the Yankees played here for 9 years before Yankee Stadium was built, and the Mets played here during their first 2 seasons in the league. The Polo Grounds certainly had some unique features. The playing field was almost oval-shaped, and the dimensions featured 2 extremes: power alleys that are over 440 feet and the foul poles that are less than 280 feet away from home plate. Although the right field line was much closer to home, the second deck overhang made it easier for hitters to swat home runs to left field. The wall on left was only 279 feet from home, but the second deck hung 21 feet over the field, which effectively shortened the distance required for a pop fly to land in the seats. Many outfielders have watched helplessly as a ball that they thought they could catch dropped into the second deck. The outfield slopes 8 feet below the infield, meaning that a person standing in a dugout can only see the top half of an outfielder. The bullpens in left center and right center are in fair territory, which can cause chaos with balls hit in the gap. The ball rolls well in the power alleys due to the slope, and the enormous center field area leads to many triples and inside the park home runs. In terms of power, this field favors pull hitters from either side of the plate. The Polo Grounds hosted 13 World Series and 2 All-Star games. This park has captured many of baseball's most memorable moments, such as the catch by Mays, Thompson's shot heard around the world, and Mel Ott's 500th home run. The last game played at the Polo Grounds was on September 18, 1963, and the park was demolished in 1964. Riverfront Stadium became the home of the Cincinnati Reds in 1970. Like most of the cookie-cutter ballparks built in that era, Riverfront featured a hard artificial turf surface and had symmetrical dimensions with deep power alleys. The famous Big Red Machine of the 1970s exploited the fast surface and consistently drove the ball through the spacious power alleys. Retired numbers of former Reds are displayed along the outfield walls, including Joe Morgan's number 8. Because of the fast surface and the deep power alleys, Riverfront favored fly ball pitchers and hitters who could drive the ball in the gaps. Riverfront Stadium has hosted 5 World Series and 2 All-Star games. Tom Seaver threw his only no-hitter here against the Cardinals, and Ty Cobb's record for most career hits was broken at this park. By the year 2000, Riverfront had undergone a complete overhaul and a name change, which gave the park a whole new identity. Shibe Park was the first concrete and steel stadium built specifically for baseball. The park was named for Ben Shibe, an A's stockholder and baseball manufacturer. The American League's Philadelphia A's played here from 1909 to 1954, and the National League Phillies played here from 1938 to 1970. The upper deck and left field stands were added in 1925 to expand the stadium's seating capacity. In 1935, the tall right field fences were built to prevent the residents that live on 20th Street from watching for free. The light towers were installed before the start of the 1939 season. For the 1953 season, the stadium was renamed Connie Mack Stadium in honor of the legendary manager. The scoreboard was installed in front of the right center field wall in 1956. The park has an almost square contour, making the power alleys very shallow and center field very deep. Because of the small right field dimensions, left-handed hitters should be able to smack the ball off the tall fences in right center. With the center field fence reaching 468 feet, the center fielder has lots of ground to cover. Shibe Park hosted 8 World Series and 2 All-Star games. Jimmy Fox hit his 500th home run here, and Lou Gehrig hit 4 straight home runs in this park. The last game was played here on October 1st, 1970, and the stadium was demolished in June of 1976. Sportsman's Park was the home for both the National League's St. Louis Cardinals and the American League's St. Louis Browns. The Browns began playing here at the start of the 1902 season and stayed until they moved to Baltimore following the 1953 season. The Cardinals began playing here in 1920 and were tenants until the current Busch Stadium was finished in 1966. After the Browns moved out, Sportsman's Park was renamed Busch Stadium after the Cardinals' owner, Augie Busch. When the Busch family bought the stadium, it was almost named after a famous beer that the family owns, but the league halted that idea. The second deck, which stretches out from first base to third, was added in 1909 and then expanded to the foul poles in 1925. Bleachers were added to the outfield in 1926, expanding the stadium's capacity to about 34,000. The lights were added in 1940. This park certainly favors left-handed bats because of the short dimensions in right and right center field. After the Cardinals' last game at Sportsman's Park on May 8, 1966, a helicopter carried home plate to their new home, Busch Memorial Stadium. Sportsman's Park played host to 10 World Series and 3 All-Star games. The last game was played here on May 8, 1966, and the park was demolished shortly thereafter. In April of 1912, Tiger Stadium opened its doors and became the home of the Detroit Tigers for the next 78 years. The park has a distinctive look and some unique features. The 125-foot flagpole in deep center is the highest outfield obstacle to ever be in play, but the double-deck bleachers are probably the most noticeable feature. The right field upper deck overhangs the lower deck by 10 feet, a setup that has collected more than a few long fly balls hit to right. Although plenty of home runs have been hit in the upper deck, only a few have traveled over the 94-foot-high roof. Since the upper deck was extended in 1938, only 19 players have swatted balls over its roof. All but 4 of those mashers have hit the ball over the closer right field roof. Sluggers see this park in their dreams. Tiger Stadium favors all power hitters, but left-handed hitters have more of an edge. Right-handed batters with gap power can assault the 365-foot power alley in left center field. Batting averages in this park are normally lower than average, possibly because corner outfielders can play more shallow and cut off more would-be base hits. Unfortunately for pitchers, this park is homer-friendly and much of the scoring comes from the long ball. Tiger Stadium has hosted 6 World Series and 3 All-Star games. This park helped Ty Cobb win 12 batting titles in the early part of the 20th century. Babe Ruth hit his 700th career homer here in 1934, and Lou Gehrig's 2,130 consecutive games played streak finally came to an end at Tiger Stadium. In 1962, Harmon Killebrew became the first person to hit the ball over the left field roof of Tiger Stadium, a feat that only ever happened 3 other times. Reggie Jackson's mammoth shot in the 1971 All-Star Game hit the light tower above the roof in right field, about 520 feet from home plate. The Tigers played their last game here in September of 1999, and the park still hosts college and high school games.
Acclaimed Sports Park is a park designed for an expansion team. The ASP is one of the most fan-friendly parks around. Not only does this park promote exciting, high-scoring baseball games, but the features are exciting as well. Fans seated in the park can see the water slide and the Ferris wheel, which helps create a carnival-like atmosphere. There's a large pool area, rides, and an arcade that features both classic games and the newest releases. Hitters should be able to take advantage of the small dimensions and the low fences. Not much pitchers can do in this park other than keep the ball low in the strike zone and pray. Focus your draft on power hitters and look for pitchers that can strike guys out. Drubal County Stadium is a park designed for an expansion team. The luxury boxes in this park are furnished with plush couches that provide incredible comfort and a place to nap between innings. The impressive P.O. Valley Hotel stands over the right field bleachers. The most distinguishing feature is the ivy-covered brick wall in right field known as the Great Brick Wall. Left center field is extremely deep and can frustrate right-handed power hitters. Draft the best left-handed power hitters you can and look for outfielders with speed. Try to add some left-handed relievers to your staff to help neutralize opposing lefty sluggers. Enzo Field is a park designed for an expansion team. The Enz has a neoclassic style and bears some resemblance to Wrigley Field. The high-cut grass surface and the vines give the park an ageless feel. Unlike Wrigley, which has ivy draped on the walls, the vines that cling to the outfield fences here are a bit different. These vines aren't just the fruits of one's labor, they bear fruit. They're real grapevines that are harvested and used to press Enzo's vintage grape juice. The juice is a little bitter, but fans seem to enjoy it quite a bit. Pitchers should benefit from the reliable infield grass and a large amount of foul territory. Balance your draft, but focus on pitching in the early part of the draft. Fishback Field is a park designed for an expansion team. Just beyond the short porch in right field is an office park that is leased to local businesses. Many of the people that work there stay around late so they can watch the games from their office windows. On the first floor is a state-of-the-art arcade, which features cutting-edge video game technology. The plexiglass fence in right is certainly the most distinguishing feature in this park. The wall itself is reminiscent of Fenway's Green Monster, but is clear. Onlookers can see through the fence and catch all the action on the field. Left-handed sluggers should have a field day knocking the ball off the clear monster. Draft some left-handed hitters to take advantage of this park and some left-handed pitchers to counter opposing lefty hitters. Flear Mountain Field is a park designed for an expansion team. Most seats in the park have a fantastic view of the mountainous landscape that peers over the outfield fences. The field level seats also have small video screens that display the scoreboard information. The park has many dining options, but the popular item is the Timmy Mountain Burger. Behind the video screen in center field is a corn processing plant that handles millions of bushels of fresh corn every day. The dimensions are pretty deep and should help keep a pitcher's mistakes in the park. Try to draft pitching and defense to have success in this park. The Laco Dome is a park designed for an expansion team. This park is certainly an interesting place to play, to say the least. In a day and age where the retractable roof is fashionable, the Laco Dome ignores the recent trends and stands out on its own. This is a permanent roof stadium using the same air-supported system used in Minnesota. The most distinguishing feature is the Waterfall located in center field, which, unlike Kansas City, is in play. You have to wonder what the architect was thinking, if he was thinking at all. Forget about the weird bounces. What about the soggy baseballs? Not only do opponents have to adjust to tricky caroms, but they may have to make throwing adjustments as well. The deep dimensions should favor pitchers, though contact hitters should be able to spray the balls in the spacious outfield. Draft good contact hitters and outfielders with good speed. Mailman Field is a park designed for an expansion team. The retractable roof is fast, efficient, and relatively quiet. Standing in the center field plaza area is the home run mailbox that delivers a thank you note after the home team smacks a long ball. The fantastic Mail Malkowitz Kosher Deli is also located in the center field plaza area. This stadium tends to favor pitchers, but lefty sluggers should have some success with the short porch in right field. Draft left-handed power hitters and pick up a center fielder who can cover a lot of ground defensively. Old Snavely Field is a park designed for an expansion team. The Big S has a timeless quality that brings the fun back to baseball. This park is extremely fan-friendly and has some of the best food in baseball. From the buffet-style food courts to the foot-long Snavely dog, the fans are always satisfied. The most innovative feature at this field is the hot air balloon seating. Fans can rent a hot air balloon and watch the game from above the stadium. These aren't the best seats when it's raining, but it certainly provides a different perspective of the game. This park has an interesting combination of short dimensions and tall fences, which can create interesting results. The park certainly favors hitters, but they have to get some loft in order to get it out of the park, particularly in the power alleys. Draft hitters with power and pitchers who can keep the ball on the ground. Skinner Stadium is a park designed for an expansion team. The park has bowl-shaped seating and was designed by a Canadian architecture firm. Shayla's Pancake House is located in the right field concourse. Hot pancake specials are served all day long with the famous Kids Canadian maple syrup. Atop the Pancake House is a small set of bleachers occupied by devoted fans known as the Flapjacks. The dimensions at the skin are neutral and do not favor any type of hitter over another. Balance your draft as best you can if you're using this park. The MAC is a park designed for an expansion team. The park boasts many modern features like padded seats and armrests, amusement centers, and an on-site microbrewery. The huge luxury apartment complex behind the right field fence is the most prominent feature at this ballpark. The Field View apartments overlook the field and allow renters to catch every home game. This park should favor all types of pitchers. Focus your draft on pitching and defense, picking up good contact hitters if they're available. The Whitaker Grounds is a park designed for an expansion team. The deep dimensions and low fences help give the park an old-fashioned ambiance. The target bullseye in center is 493 feet away from the plate and is unbelievably difficult to hit. Like the old Polo Grounds, the upper deck hangs over the lower decks in the outfield. Some fly balls that would normally be caught at the wall could land in the upper deck, turning outs into home runs. Fortunately for the pitchers, the fences are pretty deep here, so not too many fly balls get hung up there. Pitchers will enjoy the deep dimensions, so plan your draft around pitching, speed, and defense. Worth Chase Field is a park designed for an expansion team. The retractable dome is considered hideously loud by some, but it's incredibly fast. The roof can open or close in less than 5 minutes. The Chase Pizza Palace, nestled in the right field concourse, is a favorite among fans. The dimensions in right field should give right-handed hitters a bit of an advantage. Draft right-handed hitters with good pop and fill your pitching staff with solid right-handed throwers as well.